Come in, won't you?
What is it that puts a man out of step with the people around him?
Perhaps he hears a different music, Mr. Harkins.
Perhaps. Thank you, Mr. Mason. Good day.
In the sports world, on a big Sunday in racing, emotional tributes from the Indy 500 and beyond after the shocking death of NASCAR superstar Kyle Busch. Erin McLaughlin has more.
Tonight, on the greatest day in racing, the sports world is united in grief.
He changed my life completely. He really took me under his wing.
24 hours after his family revealed the devastating timeline that led to renowned NASCAR driver Kyle Busch's shocking death. Within days, a case of pneumonia had progressed to sepsis. On Sunday, Busch's wife Samantha and son Brexton at the Coca-Cola 600, the very same race he was supposed to drive tonight.
Samantha, I want you to know that this sport stands with you.
On lap 18, we remember Kyle Busch.
Earlier in the day at the Indy 500, the scoring pylon lit up during the 18th lap, a somber nod to the racing number that solidified Busch's status as a legend. Romain Grosjean's team even redesigned their car number, using the same italicized block font used by Busch during his championship years in NASCAR.
The biggest scoop in station history almost didn't get on the air.
It's February 18th, 2001. The Daytona 500 goes down to the final lap. Millions of people, including these fans in Overland Park, watch Michael Waltrip beat Dale Earnhardt Jr. to take the checkered flag. Most fans didn't pay much attention to the final lap wreck of Dale Earnhardt Sr. Didn't appear to be anything serious. Didn't appear to be anything serious.
All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts.
He's the winningest driver of the decade, and now he is joining elite company. Kyle Busch is going to win his second Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series championship.
In 2001, Kurt Busch said, "You think I'm a pretty good race car driver? Wait until you see my brother."
Here's to my old friends.
He was right. Kyle was born into racing. He drove go-karts before he could reach the pedals. His dad working the gas as Kyle sped around a homemade course.
His acts being 7 ages. At first the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms. And then the whining schoolboy with his satchel and shining morning face creeping like snail unwillingly to school. And then the lover, sighing like furnace with a woeful ballad made to his mistress' eyebrow. Then a soldier, full of strange oaths and bearded like the pard.
By 10 years old, he was the crew chief for Kurt's team, and at 13, his own racing career began. 65 wins and 2 titles in Legends cars at the Las Vegas Bull Ring.
We got it done, and we got it done fast.
Then late models, and his truck debut at 16, where he finished 9th for Roush Racing.
Jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel. Seeking the bubble reputation, even in the cannon's mouth. And then the justice, in fair round belly with good cape and line.
About the only thing that could stop him was a rule change that raised the minimum age in trucks to 18. And then, 23 years ago this weekend, he made his O'Reilly Auto Parts Series debut at Charlotte, finishing 2nd.
So here's to the old times.
It wasn't long before he went from Kurt's little brother Shrub to Rowdy, and man, did it fit. A generational talent with swagger for days, and that signature bow that his fans loved and his critics hated.
With eyes severe and beard of formal cut, full of wise saws and modern instances. And so he plays his part. The sixth age shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon with spectacles on nose and pouch on side. His youthful hose well saved a world too wide for his shrunk shank. And his big, manly voice.
Skilled, fierce, and competitive as hell. There was some hard racing and some hard feelings.
And there goes his car.
But beneath it all, he had a simple approach. You win in order to go race again next weekend.
Time will roll away.
And boy, did he win. More than anyone else, ever. 63 Cup Series victories, 102 O'Reilly Auto Parts Series wins, 69 Craftsman Truck Series wins, and a record 19 straight Cup seasons visiting Victory Lane. 4 crown jewels, including the 2018 Coca-Cola 600, and of course, 2 Cup Series titles. Along the way, as he evolved, the boos gave way to cheers, and rivalries, they became friendships. Some time ago, Kyle was asked how he wanted to be thought of when he retired. His answer, the first thing they'll remember me by are my on track success. And then he added, the second thing would be how I grew up in the limelight. I started this when I was 18 years old, and now I'm 26, and when I retire, I'll be 40. And they'll see the whole transition of my life and how I made it through. And it was all under the skeptic's eye. Certainly, I know I wasn't the best coming in, and I'm not now, but we'll see how it turns out when I'm 40. It turned out to be legendary. I will always remember him as the guy who hated to lose more than anybody. He won more races across the top 3 NASCAR series than any driver in history, with win number 234 coming in the Truck Series just last weekend at Dover.
Why do these moments never get old, Kyle?
Because you never know when the last one is.
The days we had together.
Turning again towards childish treble, pipes and whistles in his sound. Last scene of all that ends this strange, eventful history is second childishness and mere oblivion. Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything.
Oh, look at this little Bentley.
Welcome to my world.
This is beautiful. You lucky son. I've seen photographs of it in magazines, and I've seen little clips on the TV, but I've never actually been here.
Yeah, it's a fairly sort of mixed bag.
Yeah, well, there's nothing here under at least 5 million. It's a marvellous place to be.
This is really where it all started, of course,
Yeah.
because this was my dad's car.
Yes.
And he used to race this, and so the big treat when I was a kid was to go to Silverstone, sitting in the back here. But you can sort of see why they were great cars.
I didn't realise that you were right into the Aston Martins,
Oh, yeah,
the vintage ones, the Ulsters.
Oh, no,
type
absolutely.
things. It's a beautiful little car.
No, they're absolutely great cars to drive.
Yeah.
This is what I started racing in. This is really the sort of cars I started sort of doing some of the work on myself.
I've got a bike, you can ride it if you like. It's got a basket, a bell that rings and things to make it look good.
It's incredible that Nick's car collection is probably now more valuable than his earnings from Pink Floyd.
The peaceful transfer of authority is rare in history. As I begin, with a simple oath, we affirm old traditions and make new beginnings. We know the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong. Do you not think an angel rides in the whirlwind and directs this storm? This work continues. The story goes on. And an angel still rides in the whirlwind and directs this storm. God bless you all, and God bless America.
Building a spacecraft is no mere feat. It involves lots of testing before it can launch. While the FAA won't allow SpaceX to test launch the Starship, if SpaceX can't complete 75 actions, SpaceX has to be sure that the 33 Raptor engines at the bottom of Super Heavy will fire without any significant problems first. So why is 33 Raptor engine testing a big problem for SpaceX and Elon Musk? Let's expose it all in today's episode of Alpha Tech Channel. SpaceX is now looking forward to completing an orbital test flight. This will be a test flight like no other, as a fully stacked Starship will produce almost double the thrust of the Saturn V, the most powerful rocket ever made. In order to produce this amount of thrust, the Super Heavy booster will have 33 Raptor engines, lifting the Starship's second stage into orbit. In order for this test flight to go well, an enormous amount of engine testing needs to be done.
I'm a big guy. I'm 6'9", 222 pounds, and I'm an awful big eater. I love hamburgers. When I order them, it's just a regular hamburger. I order 6. If it's a quarter pounder, I order 3. I call this the Big 33. It's got a quarter-pound hamburger with cheese, got some bacon, barbecue sauce, a few pickles, and some onions. Pretty tasty. Good as advertised.
And this is really a big deal. After the last explosion of Booster 7, Elon Musk also admitted that going forward, we won't do a spin start test with all 33 engines at once. The most obvious is simple enough. For a test with 33 Raptors, SpaceX needs to fully fill a Super Heavy booster for the first time. Depending on the storage situation, that process will likely begin by filling Booster 7 with about 2,500 tons of liquid nitrogen, about 2/3 full. If SpaceX also temporarily fills one of the orbital tank farm's liquid oxygen or methane tanks with nitrogen, it could fully load Booster 7 with around 3,500 tons of nitrogen. At least according to SpaceX's own website, that's about the same weight as the propellant, 3,400 tons, that Super Heavy is designed to lift off with. If that full test goes well, SpaceX would then likely perform one or several wet dress rehearsals, ultimately filling Booster 7 with approximately 2,900 tons of cryogenic oxygen and 500 tons of cryogenic methane. Although the Raptor engines have become much more reliable, this test will be on a completely different scale from anything SpaceX has done before. Out of an abundance of caution, Super Heavy B7 will likely have far less propellant aboard during almost all of its static fire tests, but a full static fire with a full load of propellant, simulating most pre-launch conditions, will likely be one of the last main goals of any static fire campaign. At full thrust, 33 Raptor 2 engines would likely burn about 25 tons or around 55,000 pounds of propellant per second, 50% more powerful than NASA's retired Saturn V moon rocket. It would also produce a level of thrust 7 times greater than Falcon 9. A huge amount of propellant will be needed regardless. The Soviet N-1 rocket is the only other rocket that comes close to this. It was similar in size to Starship and also featured a similar layout of 30 NK-15 engines arranged in 2 rings. But sadly, each of the 4 attempts to launch N-1 failed, with the second attempt resulting in the vehicle crashing back onto the launch pad shortly after liftoff and causing one of the largest artificial non-nuclear explosions in human history. Many of the failures were caused by explosive engines, which led to a chain of other problems during launch. The N-1 program was suspended in 1974 and officially canceled in 1976. With the high innovations, SpaceX will hopefully now be able to shut down a failing engine before it turns into a grenade.
Booster upper chamber pressure is nominal.
Everything after clearing the tower was icing on the cake.
Believe what began as an industrial accident hundreds of miles away could have such an impact on us. The crude crisis began on the evening of April 20th, 2010. It started as a fiery accident that led to the evacuation of 115 workers and the search for 11 others who were never found. But when the Deepwater Horizon rig collapsed into the Gulf on April 22nd, it ruptured a pipe, allowing oil to begin flowing into the Gulf. Efforts to activate the well's blowout preventer failed. Within a week, operations began to deploy tens of thousands of feet of boom to keep the oil from coming ashore. Other crews tried to skim up the oil or even burn it before it had a chance to reach the boom. On May 2nd, BP began drilling the first of 2 relief wells designed to intercept the well and then plug it permanently. 6 days later, the 90-ton containment dome designed to funnel the oil up to a pipe on the surface filled with ice and failed. So did another smaller dome called a top hat. This is the same day that tar balls started washing ashore on Dauphin Island. On May 10th, the government approved the use of dispersants to try to break up the oil. For weeks, it was tough to get a straight answer about how much oil was flowing into the Gulf. The estimate started growing, first 1,000 barrels a day, then 5,000 barrels a day, even though scientists insisted the amount was much higher. On May 20th, I talked to BP's Chief Operating Officer, Doug Suttles.
Our estimate's been pretty much consistent since the beginning, which is we think it's somewhere around 5,000 barrels a day, but I think we've always stated it's actually very uncertain.
A few days later, government scientists raised the daily estimate to 12,000, then 25,000, then as much as 60,000 barrels of oil. That's more than 2.5 million gallons of oil day after day, week after week. And that's the equivalent of the Alaskan Exxon Valdez disaster every 4 days. In late May, BP launched another attempt to stop the oil with the top kill operation to block the well with mud and debris. That failed. On June 4th, BP fit a containment cap over the well, enabling it to capture some of the oil escaping from the well. 10 days later, President Obama visited Theodore in Pensacola.
There's going to be a harmful effect on many local businesses, and it's going to be painful for a lot of folks. Folks are going to be frustrated, and some folks are going to be angry. But I promise you this, that things are going to return to normal.
July 12th, BP installed a new tighter fitting cap over the wellhead, raising hope that the flow of oil could be stopped from polluting the Gulf for the first time since the disaster began. And finally, on July 15th, oil stopped gushing into the Gulf for the first time since the leak began.
I'll pitch in for the revolution, Bill.
Thank heaven there's still someone willing to fight injustice in this world.
No kidding.
Well, let's see. The chair costs $2,000. Since there's only 2 of us, that makes your share $1,200.
No, it should be 1,000, right?
You'd better get yourself a calculator, my friend.
Well, anyways, I've only got 80, so I guess.
I'll take it.
Here it is, the personal shiatsu massager chair. Observe. It can pinpoint any part of the back. It can seek out and soothe over 16 tension-easing pressure points. It has shiatsu mode, Swedish mode, and weekend in Thailand.
That looks like fun. That looks like fun.
Can I try?
I'm glad you asked, Catherine, because no. None of you ingrates will ever set foot in this chair. So get out! Go back to your non-smoking area, you traitors. You can sit on the floor for all I care.
Bill, it is completely...
Be gone! The 2 most exquisite pleasures known to modern man. Tobacco, and whatever it is this thing is doing to my pelvis.
Bill, you know, I was faithful to the revolution, right?
Yes, you were.
So I get to sit in the chair, right?
No, you can't. It can be dangerous for the uninitiated. I think you better watch me for a while first.
That's a good idea. So what's it like?
I can't even tell you. You're not ready.
Dr. Evil, I don't understand how we can hope to steal Austin Powers' mojo. We've tried this before. The security around Powers is foolproof.
Ah, but this time we have an operative inside the Ministry of Defense.
Really?
Yes, really. He's stealing Austin Powers' mojo even as we speak.
Really?
He's a disgruntled Scottish guard known for his lethal temper and his unusual eating habits. He weighs a metric ton. His name, Fat Bastard.
We've had reports there's a spy in the Ministry of Defense. The contents of this room are vital to the country. Be on special alert.
Yes, sir!
And try to lose some weight, for God's sake.
Yes, sir!
Mr. English Colonel telling me to lose weight. Oh, I'm a hard case, he says. Well, listen up, City Jim. I ate a baby. Oh, aye, baby, the other white meat. Baby, it's what's for dinner.
As Pope Francis concluded the general audience in the Paul VI Audience Hall, the sound of bagpipes and drums could be heard among the crowd. Before long, many of the remaining attendees began clapping along to the contagious rhythm. The tune's performers, a group called Bagpipes of the Dragon, are making their third appearance at the audience. Although the visits are usually during this season, this year's trip was a bit more meaningful.
Noi quest'anno
This coming year will mark our 10th anniversary. This is the third time we've come to play for the Pope. We're here to celebrate the Pope and his birthday and wish him a Merry Christmas. Bagpipes of the Dragon are from the small lakeside town of Bolsena, about 90 miles northwest of Rome. The band's 20 members seek to revive some of the region's medieval culture, complementing their bagpipe and drum numbers with customary attire from the era. While maintaining tradition by playing in parades and concerts, the group is also participating in a custom involving the Holy Father that is surely unique.
Noi di Bolsena c'è la tradizione che
We in Bolsena have a tradition of always bringing eels. They're in Lake Bolsena, and for some years we have offered them to the Pope. This year we brought them live. Dante Alighieri in Purgatory talks about the eels of Lake Bolsena, so it's a very old tradition from before the Middle Ages. It's a tribute we make to the Pope every year. Although Bagpipes of the Dragon weren't able to meet Pope Francis as they did last year, the group was more than happy to add a medieval touch to the audience.
From the ashes, we rise up. We had Ash Wednesday. We want to rise up with Jesus at Easter. And I believe that there'll be some rising from this dying.
Sorrows and trade them for joy. From the ashes, a new life is born. From the ashes, a new life is born. By your spirit, I will rise from the ashes of defeat. Rise from the ashes. Don't ask me what you know is true. Don't have to tell you I love your precious heart. I was standing, you were there. Two worlds collided, and they could never tear us apart. We could live for 1,000 years, but if I hurt you, I make wine from your tears. I told you that we could fly, 'cause we all have wings, but some of us don't know why. I was standing, you were there. Two worlds collided, and they could never, ever tear us apart. I was standing, you were there. Two worlds collided, and they could never tear us apart. You were standing, I was there. Two worlds collided, and they could never tear us apart. I was standing.
To the Clan MacLeod! MacLeod! Victory to MacLeod! Death to the MacLeod! Another time, MacLeod! How did you manage that, Conor MacLeod? Conor MacLeod was...
You're Conor MacLeod.
Maybe I am.
You're Conor MacLeod. MacLeod.
I am Conor MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod. There can be only one.
Mary Ann MacLeod, born 10 May 1912, dead 7 August 2000, was the wife of real estate developer Fred Trump. The couple were the parents of Donald Trump, the 45th President of the United States. Born in the Outer Hebrides of Scotland, Mary Trump emigrated to the United States in 1930 and became a naturalized citizen in March 1942. She raised 5 children with her husband and lived in the New York area.
Did you know that all of the dialogue for Shrek was actually recorded several times? Originally, voice actor Mike Myers used his normal screening voice. After deciding he didn't like that, he then recorded all of the dialogue again using a country Canadian accent. He then saw a rough cut of the film and still felt something was missing from the character. He once again re-recorded all of Shrek's dialogue, this time using a Scottish accent he learned from his mom. This re-recording ended up costing the studio another $4 million.
Crowley. Let's not waste our breath on formalities.
At once, sir.
Such a lovely boy. What do you want, Crowley?
I want your soul, of course. That is, my master wants it.
Do it yours. Give me my sister.
You're a businessman, Mr. Wayne. You know that saying something doesn't make it so. I'll need a contract. Inked in your blood.
Oh, please spare me the spillage. I don't believe in Satan.
Oh, you're modern, rational, well-educated, a civilized man of peace and moderation. Of course you don't believe in Satan, but that doesn't matter. Satan believes in you. Cutie, it's you he wants. Your spiritual essence, not your company.
Alistair is just a very wise and loving man. A teacher.
In exchange for my sister's liberty, I have to sell... I have to sell my soul to the devil.
Precisely. You get my master's eternal friendship.
You're a smart businessman, Mr. Wayne. Think of that. Think of the power you'll have. I have power now, you fool. I could buy and sell the likes of you.
See now, there's the beast inside of you.
3 suspects in California are accused of running a fake police department and put under arrest. One of the suspects even works for California Attorney General Kamala Harris. I'm 48 Hours Crime-Sider's Michelle Sagona. The ruse began in January when the San Diego Sheriff's Office says various police chiefs in Southern California began to receive letters from the Masonic Fraternal Police Department. The letter said specifically that David Henry was now the chief and he was requesting a meeting with each agency. According to a press release, Captain Roosevelt Johnson of the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff's Office actually accepted a meeting with Henry, Tonette Hayes, and Brandon Keel. They showed up dressed in uniforms and said they were setting up shop in the area. All 3 were arrested and now charged with impersonating a peace officer. The group claims to have jurisdiction in 33 states and in Mexico. They allegedly believe they're descendants of the Knights Templar and that their group was founded 3,000 years ago. But medieval scholars say their claims are incorrect and that the Knights Templar was founded during the 12th century Crusades in Jerusalem. Their mission was to protect pilgrims visiting the Holy City, and they answered to the Pope. Some historians speculate that they were tasked with finding precious religious relics during the wars. The legend of the Knights has been featured in popular Hollywood films like The Da Vinci Code.
The Knights Templar.
But the Templars were created to protect the Holy Land.
That was a cover.
And National Treasure. As for the suspects, police say after serving a search warrant, they uncovered an array of badges, weapons, uniforms, and even police-type cars and equipment at 2 different residences. A next-door neighbor who referred to David Henry and Tonette Hayes as a couple spoke out to KCBS.
I always see them with their uniform, so I thought they were part of any chief department. I didn't know it was something fake or...
On the website, the group describes how they are different from police departments. The site says, quote, "We are born into this organization. Our bloodlines go deeper than an application. This is more than a job, it's an obligation." Investigators have not determined a purpose or a motive for the organization. Authorities also believe others may be involved, and they're accepting your tips to lead them to other suspects.
Making a Difference. Brought to you by Pfizer.
If we turn against each other based on divisions of race or religion,
Come on, try getting it out.
Ding, 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 ding. I want a Chris Elliott autograph. Hi.
Wait! Please, avocados taste great on lots of things. See? Avocado toast. We can still make this work.
Oh, Wi-Fi's down.
No, 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 no!
And echoed in the wells of silence, and the people bowed and prayed to the neon god they made, and the sign flashed out its warning in the words that it was for me. And the sign said the words of the prophets are written on the subway walls and tenement halls, and whispered in the sound of silence.
"13 figures. Well played. That was some risk."
That's all, folks.
So, what are you doing with the rest of your life?
Catching up on some me time, find God.
In my life, so many trials, tribulation on every side, but I know a man, they call him Jesus, and he covered me in his blood. He Cover me